And just like that, you know how it goes. We are back again for another exciting episode of Who's Fighting, episode 57. 57, man. We resurrected the show from like 19, and now we are on to 57. Ellen, how have you been?
Yo,
It's
I'm
been all
great.
good.
Been good? Yeah, I
Been
know
great.
I know it's not Sunday, it's a little bit of Tuesday, so we're creeping into the midweek, kind of like we can't really do a weekend recap, but if you want to, please go ahead. Have you been watching the playoffs? Have you been, engaging in family activities? Have you been doing some side work here and there? Share with the audience what you've been up to before we jump into our topics.
Man, I
Uh,
want to. Oh, go ahead, LT.
oh no, I was gonna say I'm about to bounce for a second because my battery is about to die. BRB.
So we'll hold it down. We'll hold it down definitely.
Yeah, we got no. So cool thing is happening this weekend. I worked at an adult field day.
Nice.
Cool thing about that though is that I'm working at the Ultimate Football Station, and the second game, who shows up is Team 11, and it's Michael Parsons
Wow.
on Team 11. So that was that was very unexpected. So that was just cool to see. Went for a good cause. Winner won 5 plane tickets, round trip. So it's a cool event out in the sun and something different, something to switch up my weekend. And it was a good time, man. It's supported Behind Every Door in Dallas, doing a lot of great things in the community, combating like financial literacy, food deserts, just giving kids an outlet and a facility to grow and have real opportunity. So it was dope. It was dope, man.
That's pretty awesome, Cam.
Yeah.
So you said you met you came across Michael Parsons. How is he in real life? Is he because he plays big? How would you describe his persona, his aura, his presence?
Man, he's a cool guy. So it's funny because he works out with another trainer at the gym that I train at. So we've had maybe 4 or 5 run-ins here and there, and we'll kind of like chit chat. Like one thing that we've kind of talked about at our gym is the music. We always kind of nitpicking the whoever has the ox, and it's little friendly banter. So we've kind of like had that kind of back and forth at the gym. And he's just a chill guy. It's normally I don't want to say like a normal football guy, but he's a football guy. He's a guy trying to get his work. And he trying to go get it. He's focused and he's chill. He was a pretty chill guy. So that's my impression from the few interactions I had with him. So seeing him at the field day event, it was more like we saw each other and was like, oh, what's up? Like, didn't expect to run into you here, and it was cool, man. He has a love for boxing, so I kind of chatted up with him at the field day event and told him there about some local fights going on. So he was like, if I see him again, he chopping it up, trying to impart some boxing in his life.
I've had a chance to meet a few NFL players in real life, and me just seeing them on TV and seeing them in real life, and you're like, this dude is huge, or this not huge as obese, but these are big human beings. I met Cam Newton one time, and
that's a big guy.
That's a big dude. Like I'm about 6'1", 6'2" on a good day if I'm wearing Timberland boots or something. And I'm standing there, and I'm like, this guy may be legit 6'5", 6'6".
No, he definitely is.
240, easy 240. Like I'm like, that's a big boy. Like that's a just seeing the hand size, and I'm like, yo, these are giants among this men. And now I always wondered like a Michael Pearson and how he would look like, because he plays hella big and hella strong. So yeah, people like that. I also met guy back in the day. He was a Kansas City Chiefs. I met him in Kansas City. I think his name was something Ali Tamba Ali.
Oh yeah, defensive lineman.
Dude,
91.
Respect to the brother. He had a big bro. He's body structure. I'm like, yo, these dudes I could see why special people go. I think he was a linebacker or something like that for the Chiefs.
Yeah,
I think he played for the Eagles. I can't remember, but this is way back, and I was like, yo, these dudes are big in real life. So, anyways, that's just some side conversation as we wait for LT to join us.
Hey, right on time.
LT right on time. So we were just talking about what Kam Gee was doing this weekend and some of the activities he was involved in. Did you partake in anything that you're willing to share or you think is pretty cool to share right now?
No.
Nah.
Chill. Sports. I'm in the sports, the end of sports season, so it's kind of just relax, chill, in the moving process. So the background might look slightly different the next time, in about 2 more episodes here. But
and just for more context, you're a coach, and that time where you're locked in, all hands on deck, full team and everything. So.
Oh yeah, so it's we go from you're never out of season. It's the calendar. It's the calendar.
Well, as you say, the calendar, you know what we do year round thus far is do some recapping of what happened throughout the weekend. This weekend, we will hop on a plane and go across the pond to Manchester, England, to a card that was hosted by Matchroom DAZN. And let's go into it. This is a heavyweight clash. And this is actually a sequel of a heavyweight clash. The first one, of course, if you in the boxing world, you're savvy and you've seen this. Johnny Fisher won the first one by decision. And then the second one, ladies and gentlemen, was fireworks. Dave Allen came for blood. And a quick background history of Dave Allen. You know what was happening last or 2-3 years ago. He was going through depression, addiction, suicidal. He was fighting life. To see him back in the ring, the older fighter, fighting the young, up-and-coming 26-year-old who's highly touted over there and doing a madness in that 5th round. Fellas, what's your take on this? Clips were going everywhere.
Man. I actually got turned on this card right as this main event was starting. And I saw something. Dave Allen threw a overhand right at one point and kind of clipped him, but it wasn't clean. And I was like, oh, that's not a good look. That looks like that can come back and do some damage. And then boom, we came right back to it and got the two knockdowns, right? With a towel thrown in.
Yeah, it was similar thing. It was just happening at the same time as soon as that punch was thrown. The towel was thrown at the same time. It was crazy. It was so scary.
The electricity in the arena, the passion of the UK fans it is like no other. My vision for the show, we put it out there in the universe, is just to go to a fight night in the UK. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Canelo versus Chris Eubank Jr.
Right. Let's go.
Yeah.
Man, they show out, I know most of our guys here stateside maybe not covering or watched it, but man, it's something beautiful to see, man. You get these guys out here, heavyweight slugfest. They're not supposed to go all 10, 12 rounds, man. Somebody's supposed to go. This is heavyweight boxing at its finest.
And it's entertainment. I mean, do you ever see a soccer game and there's like an empty stadium, like as bad as
right?
Do they talk about that? Like their team is their team,
right?
And they go watch it, and it's like these guys, they don't have to be quote unquote A-listers,
and they have fans who are called ultras, and those guys be fighting for their teams, be having scuffles outside before getting in.
I was told warmed up for the game.
I was told when UK fans travel to other countries, they go out there to like colonize or to destroy. Like they go first of all to empty your bars, to drink all your beer or whatever, and win your team. So they traveling fans too. They really support their sports out there. passion. But looking at the sequence of this knockout, could the team have thrown the towel there? Or because they let him, do the stand count and he got up.
They saw something and they fired it. Maybe a man, yeah. It's a smart play because he's like 26. He's got a career left. So
that left hook was
it was too late. It was too late at that point. The way the towel comes in there, it makes you feel like they were thinking about it as he got up, and they just kind of maybe hesitated a little bit. Yeah. But as a trainer, you got to kind of know what your fighter can and can't go through, even though they may disagree.
Could I have slowed that? And Cam, could have he slowed that count a little bit? He got up too fast. His legs were not. He didn't have his legs underneath him.
Yeah, right there, it's over. They're probably already getting ready to throw the towel in. That's why it came in so fast. And one thing that guys talk about is if they do get knocked down, they try to find your coach. Yeah. And your coach is like, hey, we can get up now, but we need to take our time so we can get our bearings.
Do old tricks. Spit your mouth guard out. Do something to fight your legs. Like we've seen fighters, you gotta be savvy. You're hurt. Like it's clearly he's hurt. Like if I'm his team and I'm seeing him up like that, I know it's done.
It's a fight or flight thing, and it's kind of some of those things are instinctual. Some guys spit their mouthpiece out because they're like, I don't got it right now. But then the referee, some referees will take that in that sequence as a sign that they don't want to fight. So you got to be careful with doing that. So, but yes, like you said though, it's got to be something. Show the.
That's his first time getting knocked out. So.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sequence, like I'm seeing him leggy, right? His legs are done. He's backpedaling. Would it be dangerous to just go in and clinch, or is it you're susceptible to landing one flash one? Because he was moving back, and I'm like, dude is on a press. He's coming at you.
Yeah,
get closer to him and eat what you have to eat, but clinch till those legs come back. If you really think you can continue, because
my fault, but I'll give you one further though, because you were asking about the corner, whether or not the corner should have threw the towel in. I mean, this guy's clearly disoriented. Yeah, well, I guess he does push the ref out the way though. So if I'm the ref, I'm like, all right, go get it.
All right, go ahead then. Right.
I've been in a real life situation where I'm like, hey, you don't want that.
Don't
do
that.
You should be holding them. Oh, okay. Hey,
you gotta let them go.
They were like, why you holding me? Right. You need to be holding them. You right. Go ahead. Yeah.
Right.
The classic. Yeah, go call another one. Not for me, but for you. He pulled out the gun.
Right. Nah, but
sometimes we forget, like you brought up a topic in the green room about heavyweights all over the world. And you see these guys here are not even considered premier over in the UK or in Europe, but they'll be a problem to some of our heavyweights here, European heavyweights, man. And you talk about Fisher, you talk about Allen, and Allen is young, 26, 6'5", 250, 260. Big
Fisher. Fisher is our younger guy.
Yeah.
Could have a career as a defensive end.
Yeah, these are
really good. He's a transform. I think on the commentary they said he came from another sport, if I'm not mistaken.
Rugby,
probably.
Rugby. There you go. Yeah. Rugby. Yep.
Yeah.
So
he's a big
rugby player out there getting on a big car in the UK.
But yeah, that was like, it was a devastating knockout for the young man, Fisher, but. In all trueness, like you guys said, he's young, he can bounce back, and that's lessons learned. You're in the heavyweight. Sometimes it's kill or be killed. So hey, happen to the best. There's always time to bounce back. So, as that being said, let's do a quick run on some of the fights that happened in that same card. We have Karen. I want to say like the British people, Karen Conway I don't know if that's a British accent, but kind of like more Merseyside, Liverpool accent. Versus Jerome Warburton. I'm saying that right. This was for the vacant British middleweight title. LT says it all the time. There's a bridge between that British title to the IBF to you finding yourself being ranked out here or no. When you do well, there's a link with the IBF and this British title, these British titles, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said that in the past. This was I believe was a win based on decision, and it went to the favor of Conway. I didn't get a chance to watch this, but that was for the British and Commonwealth middleweight title. As we move from that, and I'm likely to butcher some of these names, but we have George Lidgard, I'm saying Lidard, if I'm saying that right, versus Aaron Sutton for the British middleweight title eliminator. So what's the difference between the vacant and the eliminator? Like, is this would these winner of this fight the winner of the Conway fight? Because this is
like the vacant. The vacant just means that there's nobody holding that belt, and then the eliminator means that they get a future title shot. Yeah.
Okay, so this is Liddard versus Aaron Sutton, and this is for the eliminator. George Liddard won and dominated Aaron Sutton, dropping him 3 times before securing a 5th round stoppage. And we'll move on to the next. We have Jimmy Fan versus Gideon Oyenani. Am I saying that right? My Nigerians out there, correct me. Oyenani, Nigerian accent. This was it went the distance for this one with a victory for Jimmy Sands. This was for also a Mushroom the Zone under that same card that we saw with the Alan Fisher 2. So let's take some time as we transition to this one to say the friend of the show did it again, man. He did it again. We're talking about the ring tiger, Willie Chaconye. He captured not the international, but the real thing, the WBF belt. He is the heavyweight champion of the world under the sanction of WBF. He fought a veteran Olympian fighter, Vilma Vasquez, and knocked him out in the first round. And they fought in Willie's hometown in Linwoord, Netherlands. I can pull up a little bit of a clip of how he dealt with the man, but Willie looked good. He looked sharp always. And that very next day, he had a bit of a like he had to do an exam because he's going to school for something. I'm like, dude, I'll be, ecstatic and just, I'm not thinking about no exam. But yeah, he it looked like he got the best of him. Willie looks like he's in shape. He did say he put on a little bit of size when he was, after he lost that weight being sick. He had a nutritionist. He said he didn't want to get too big while he loses his athletic ability, because he says that's the difference. He said he's a lighter heavyweight. So what his advantage is, he wants to stay at that fine balance of being athletic and not losing that speed, that changing of angles, because he thinks that's what's going to help him win fights. It's not the power necessarily. It's how many times he can switch and move and get his opponents in trouble. Again, we talked about Vilma. Vilma is an ex-Olympian. He fought for, I believe, Ecuador. If you know anything about Olympic boxers, these are people that are very wily. These are very skilled fighters. They're not just, sluggers. These are boxers. Yes, Vilma, Father Time is kind of against him. I think Vilma was 40, something like that. He's an older fighter. Willie is in his early 30s. I think Willie's about 31, 32. But that alone has catapulted Willie Chaconier to be ranked 75th in the world. That's a big achievement. He also has some news, but I think that's for him to share with the world. But it's a lot is happening in his camp. His next fight is I guess a guy by the name of Michael Esomba, and I believe he's a Belgian heavyweight, very muscle bound, and that's a lot shorter than Willie. So that's gonna be a different style of fighter, kind of like built like a young Mike. So we'll see how Willie, who's like 6'6", deals with a shorter, more muscular type of build. I don't know his fighting style. I've not seen Michael. He's next up. But fellas, just from this clip, I know it doesn't translate too much of what happened in the fight, but what do you see?
Domination.
I mean, yeah, exactly. He handling his business, doing what he's supposed to do. Doing what he's supposed to do.
Go ahead.
He's doing what he's supposed to do. This guy didn't belong in the ring with him, and he made sure that everybody knew, got him out, and made early work to secure the title. And he looks great, looks physically. He looks like a fighter out of we could put him in black and white as far as the foot. It just looks like one of those type of guys. Like, it's gonna be ready to fight. So,
he's a throwback.
Yeah, he's a throwback, man, and he's gonna. And we need guys like that. And lucky for us, he's a friend of the show, and we're excited to see where his career goes next, and hopefully get some news from him real soon.
Yeah, the last time we had that our last show when we had the fighter spotlight, I did challenge him. I'm like, hey, buddy, like, you're getting these guys out quick. I'm not saying I want to see him go the full throttle 12 rounds, but sometimes a champ is seen through their battles. Like, I want to see, and I'm not saying, hey, make it hard for yourself. Don't do the All Spence versus Mikey Garcia, just to show people you know how to box, because All Spence could have just ended that thing quick, but he decided to go the route of, let me box today. No, don't do that. But like right now, I hope he's mentally and physically training for 12s too, like, because I could see people getting, like they said, Deontay Wilder was kind of so fixated with they called it his right hand, which he called the nuke. And if a fighter took that right hand out of, took it out of his game, he looked bad. He looked really bad. So I'm not saying that Willie's Deontay, but I do want to see the competition step up a little bit, and I think it's going to happen soon. I do want him to fight some of the Europeans outside the Netherlands and people near him, maybe the UK guys. Mix it up with some of those guys just to see what levels we are at. But man, salute to you, Willie, man. You're making this look easy. It looks kind of rigged, but I just played with it.
It's a name. It's a name to go on the resume. And,
hey, you beat an Olympian, and and you saw even the last interview. Willie does come with a pedigree, man. He fought with the Bacoles and that Jagbas in the African Championship, so he knows these guys. And yes, he's getting his professional thing started late in life, but hopefully, he gets enough fights to get him stateside, so people can see his talent, and and he could prosper. But yeah,
but he's definitely on the right continent to not be a quote unquote A-lister yet, or quote unquote premier. But he's on the right continent where his talents and skills will be appreciated, and he'll be ready when given the opportunity. So
definitely, and that's the big part.
Salute to Willie and Hart. On to a UFC. This was on the UFC fight access thing. We have the Ukrainian Sache Bochak versus how did I say that? Michael Fox. Michael Fox. And this is super welterweight bout. I don't think this particular fight had any. It was sanctioned by somebody? Was it the what was it sanctioned by?
It was in It was in California.
Okay. Because I looked
So
at
that's in there.
I looked at Bohachuk's record and it was not in that record. Is there a reason? Or maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing.
Make sure we're looking at BoxRec because that is going to be the number one source. But as you're looking that up, I mean that fight, I'm going to have to go back and watch it. I'm a Bohachuk fan, but watching it basically on mute, I didn't really feel like he won the fight, or maybe outright won it on undisputed. Go ahead.
Continue.
Well, I was just kind of like I wanted to see the fight. I couldn't fully give him my attention, but when I'm watching the fight, I'm seeing a guy that was it was slick, that had good footwork, and made it very weird because he didn't have a lot of power. But I'm seeing him score. But Bohachuk being a pressure front foot fighter, we've seen and we've talked about on the show how a popular front foot fighter is going to get rounds against a back foot fighter that doesn't necessarily have a name because the judges pick and choose who can fight on the back foot and who can't. I thought Michael Fox fought a great fight. There was a controversial knockdown or a slip. Maybe could have been a knockdown, but they gave him unanimous. I'm sorry, unanimous decision on the win. So it was good competitive fight though.
Yeah, this was way more entertaining than I expected to be. You can't judge anybody by their record. Fox was definitely game. I later found out that because when I first seen this, it was like to be determined or whatever, right? And so it was supposed to be on a different card, and I thought it was going to be a different card in a different place, and then this ends up taking place on what was it, like Fight Pass or something? And it was so. Was he supposed to fight Madrimov, and then Madrimov pulled out? Did y'all hear that anywhere?
No, but Madrimov definitely would want to. You talking about him fighting Bohachuk, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I couldn't see Madrimov taking. I could see him getting out of this fight because he's on a 2-fight losing streak.
Right.
This would have been a tough fight for him. But seeing the output by Bohachuk, you may think like, dang, I might have had an opportunity to get a name on my record. Because Israel Madrimov was definitely looking for a win, after taking back-to-back defeats to Terrence Crawford and Virgil Ortiz.
Check this out. Fights out of Indio, California. And that's Madrimov, and this fight took place in California. So maybe there's some truth to that.
Yeah. Fought in your neck of the woods. That's where Triple G trained out of, correct?
Yeah.
Big Bear. Or was that Big Bear? Big Bear is in Northern California.
Triple G trains. So Triple G used to train with the Benavides.
So this goes all the way back to. This goes all the way back to December 21st. They were supposed to fight on the 21st, according to Turki Al-Sheikh.
Yes, and that's when Ismail Davis stepped up. Remember we talked about that. We built up for the
Was he a Ortiz replacement?
No, Ortiz fought already. Ortiz and Bohachuk fought back in August, I believe.
Correct.
They fought in August. In December for that big on the 21st, the big clash where we had the big names, Ishmael Davis stepped up and actually, kind of surprised people. But
man, Bohachuk did not look like the guy that fought Virgil Ortiz though.
Because
it's a style make fights, and Michael Fox had a slickster style.
And even
style made it hard for him.
Yeah. Even that, I think Virgil Ortiz is a different fighter ever since that Bohachuk fight. I think he improved too. I don't know. Yeah, but I didn't watch the Michael Fox fight. But I want to go back and watch it. I kind of like after that Ishmael Davis fight with Bohashak, I was like, he did good with Virgil Ortiz, and he kind of like Virgil Ortiz was lucky to even get that decision. But anyways, he is not the. I don't know. People improve. People that people their performance.
That is why boxing is such a fascinating sport. You can see a fighter fight and look amazing, and 6 months later it looks like a different person. It is so many things that goes into the preparation for a fight. If you can't get the same ingredients over and over and over, you do see these weird performances out of guys. And so that's another reason why we have to appreciate our great champions that seem to perform at a high level regardless of the opponent. So Usyk comes to mind, Terrence Crawford comes to mind. We want to talk about things like that, rising to the occasion, because it's not easy to do. You see so many examples of guys doing this, or they up here and they can't handle it, and they're done. So even with the high level skill, it takes a lot of mental fortitude to get in there and make it happen fight after fight.
Facts. On that same card, I don't know if you guys watched this one. We had Omar Trinidad versus give me a second here, versus Alexander Espinoza. Did you guys watch that one?
Didn't get this one.
I didn't watch that one, but according to my notes, Omar retained his WBC Continental Americas featherweight title versus that's one of them. There are a million WBC belts. That's one of those Continental Americas featherweight title. Hey, salute, champ. I've never heard of this belt before, but now I know of it. And then moving right along.
Wait. I was gonna say, what do we Continental Americas? Does that mean North America, Central America, and South America?
Good question.
Is that what we're thinking?
Omar Trinidad must be from the island somewhere. I'm assuming.
LA.
Oh. Never mind.
Live fact checker right there.
Never mind.
I just thought I'd pose a question. Are we being geographically sound here with our belt?
America's North American, I guess.
Yeah. I'm with it.
We have another one. This is women's on that card. We had Mizuki Hiruta defending her WBO women's super featherweight title against Carla Marino. And Mizuta did win. I didn't watch this fight, but fellas, feel free to share if you caught this one on that 360 promotions card at the Commerce Casino via the UFC Fight Pass. Nah, you guys didn't catch that? I didn't catch it.
No.
But salute to Mizuki Hiruta.
Well, also, let me say that if it was weird seeing UFC Fight Pass at a boxing event, like just the logo in itself, I feel like it just psychologically, I haven't been programmed enough to accept that. So I kind of have my nose turned up. When I went to the Bullcheck fight, you see the UFC Fight Pass is like above the ring, kind of like back in above it, and it was just a weird thing, just an oddity. I thought I wouldn't know I would have that feeling tuning into that fight. So it was new, right? Have we ever seen a boxing match on UFC Fight Pass?
No, I'm not. I can't remember.
Like
of magnitude.
Right. It was just an oddity that I experienced watching the fight. Like, what is UFC doing up here? Get off the screen.
It's kind of oxymoronic, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think like LT and I were speaking about it in the green room. I think there's a pivot in branding here because TKO, which is the UFC and WWE, is a conglomerate, and they wanting to do cross combat promotion and all that stuff that they're doing. So maybe this is a little bit of a pilot test to see how that would look like having a card under 360 Promotions, which is being pushed by TKO, which is pretty much Dana White, but and the gentleman from WWE. So I don't know. This may be interesting. I don't understand. Like UFC has conditioned us to see something or to expect something. So it's kind of maybe switch that whole thing to TKO. I don't know. I'm not paid the big bucks for that. But you're absolutely right. But I could see a play happening. And that's
it's the entertainment element. And I just hope we preserve the purity.
Facts. Perfect segue. We are going to talk about UFC Vegas 106. This was a fight night event. We won't get into the depth of it, but we'll talk about the main of the mainest card. We'll talk about Michael Morales versus Gilbert Barnes. This ended up with a first round TKO at minute 3:39 to deliver a great performance and a loss to Gilbert Barnes. Gilbert Barnes has been a great UFC servant. I remember him fighting Kamaru Usman. He has a brother. They're Barnes brothers. They're from Brazil. I don't know if they're from Sao Paulo or Rio de Janeiro. I can't remember, but Barnes is a notable opponent in the welterweight division. This victory by Michael Morales does catapult him. He's going to get his ranking up. But as I said, we are going to speed through these because these are not the main UFC marquee headers. So this is a typical fight night that happened on Saturday. We'll talk about Myron Santos versus Sadiq Yusuf, and this is for the lightweight. It's a co-main event. And again, this happened in Vegas in the UFC Apex. Myron Santos did win by unanimous decision, with all judges scoring him as the victor. 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. With that being said, I won't dig into more of UFC and just go into our topics just for the sake of time. First topic is, what do we have here? It's going to be an action-packed May 24th. I mean, we may be going across the pond just one more time. This time it's not the UK, Manchester. This time it's Glasgow, Scotland. And this is a DAZN. I'm assuming this is a Matchroom DAZN. Could be wrong, but usually that's the part I look at.
It's up there. Yep. Got it in there.
We have Josh Taylor versus my brother from I believe he's from Botswana. He's called Ikwa Esuman. That's going to be the main event. Josh Taylor, I believe, fought. Who did he fight last? Oh, it's been a while.
We were talking about.
I think he had a comeback after he fought Teo. So I think he
fought Teo. He lost to Teo. He fought Cantrell, I believe. Cantrell. He fought Jake Cantrell, I believe. He won. Can't remember,
but I think Strap,
yes,
as you tend to do,
yes,
you pose these questions, and I would entertain the question.
Sure,
ask it.
Okay. Remind me.
The word. It's that L word that you throw around.
What is he?
Oh, he's had Catterall. So yeah, he had previously beat Catterall.
Sase Catterall.
Yeah, okay.
The decision came back and lost a unanimous decision after the Teo defeat.
But he's got names.
You got names. I mean, he's a name out there. Josh Taylor is a headline.
Postal.
Yeah,
and we'd have to double check his amateur career, but I have a lot of respect for Josh Taylor as a fighter and what he was able to accomplish. Was he not unanimous or undisputed, I should say?
Right. I feel like there's a fight that's not on here, or is that the? So he lost the WBO super lightweight title. Yeah, when he beat Jack Catterall, he was
undisputed, correct?
Yeah, undisputed.
So he did it.
He was stripped,
and I think he ran into a bad boy.
Yeah, ran into Teo, and we had one of those close fights that had the 117-111 scorecard that I love.
So Teo took his chains and everything.
He took the WBO. Took the WBO belt. He must have been stripped of the WBC belt at the time.
Be stripping their belts from people when they don't pay their taxes and stuff.
WBC, so when
don't be playing. Sorry.
When Josh Taylor won, are you good? When Josh Taylor won the fight, it was vacated and won Regis Prograis and Jose Cepeda. So the WC belt was vacant, yeah. And he beat Jose Cepeda and defended against Danielito Zorrilla and then lost it to Devin Haney. So that's just showing the track of that belt here recently, currently held by Albert Puello.
This Josh Taylor has names, man. He's caught bodies.
Mm-hmm. And so he's borderline to me. Like, I think his best.
I was wondering.
Best days.
Nobody said it.
His best days are probably behind him. But compared to a lot of people that you throw out there, he was flirting with it, especially he had a run.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think he ran into a bad boy, and
this is what it was.
I mean, in his region, the guy still headlines. The guy's on the news. Sky News talks about Josh Taylor. They talk about the Liam Smith. They talk about people like that. They'll always, Callum Smith. I'm saying Liam. I forgot the other guy. Liam something.
Cam, do you have a website where you can look up amateur careers?
So on the box rec I can go back because I was looking at the WBC stuff. So for Josh Taylor, his if you're ever looking at box rec, it's in the middle, says box am. His record was 52 wins, 23 losses. Let's see if I notice any names on here. And in the European side of it, he actually fought Jeff Horn in the amateurs. That's interesting. Beat Jeff Horn in the amateurs back in 2011. They have a lot of pro-am events, so they'll actually have it. And sometimes these amateur fights aren't recorded properly, so you can't always use them as a. Like, I'm pretty sure he had more than what was recorded here via BoxRec.
I see. Yeah,
it gives you a good idea.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, so there's a run there on the same day he fought Yigit, Horn, and Heron on the same day.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
Not to mention.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is November 11th. Let's see.
November 24, 26, and 27. That means that was a tournament, and he won that tournament.
Yeah. So Yigit, Horn, and Herring. Yeah, that's
London Olympic test final.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we got quarterfinal, semifinal, final. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then he fought. Yeah, so he definitely put in some work. Yeah, I love going through these guys' amateur career. But yeah,
there we go.
You get
learn something new today.
Heron. Yes, BoxRec is a great way to snoop around the world of boxing.
I've been using it wrong this whole time.
So he's a winner of, and we're talking about Josh Taylor. he's one of the few people that have won the Diamond WBC belt. So he's in an elite group of people that have the Diamond. That's one of his honoraries. The Diamond WBC belt that is given to Missy.
If he can come back and have a successful back half of his career, I mean, I think he's a Hall of Fame fighter. I think a successful, fourth quarter would really put him over the top. But
but he's definitely gonna pack out a venue, and I think he's from Scotland. That's what I was. I don't know if I said in the green room. Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely gonna pack it out.
We haven't even. So that's me being clamoring over Josh Taylor, just trying to give him a little bit of respect. We haven't even talked about Moses Atamu,
the up and coming heavyweight,
the young one. He's fighting Michael Bulligan. I don't know anything about Michael Bulligan, but my educated guess is about to be a stat. But again, it's the game. It's a game of boxing. It's the pain business, so you never know. But hearing people that spar with this kid, they say that he's going to the top. They say they've never seen power. He's like 20, about 20. He's very, very young. He was 19 last year when we covered him. A few months ago when we covered him, he was about 19. And his power is scary from the people that are inspired with him. From the people like Joe Joyce, the UK people that have been inspired with him always say that, yeah, he's ready.
Okay.
To take on the big challenges. So.
If this is the same guy, former professional football linebacker, he was signed as an undrafted free agent by the San Francisco 49ers in 2010. He played college football for the Oklahoma Sooners.
Bro, wait a minute. This is the opponent?
Michael Bulligan.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Famously knocked out Trey Morrison, the son of Tommy Morrison, in one round.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
Right.
Is this the same guy? Whoa. Talk about the fast track.
He's 41.
Let's go to Box Rec and click on see if it's the same guy.
Yeah, that's him. Looking like a football player on Box Rec. That is crazy. So took a loss to a Murat Gassiev, Armenian.
I don't know how you play for 4 teams in one season. The practice, is he bouncing around the practice squad or what?
Yeah, those guys. That's a tough life.
Practice squad.
Have been
2010. So if he was on the practice squad in 2010, that's when Albert Mack was there, Wichita, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That name sounds familiar because it's like we were in college at the time watching football. So and he went to Oklahoma, so that definitely checks out. Bruh. Interesting. I'm a big proponent for or advocate for football players making that transition, especially our big guys. We've got some world champions that are blocking quarterbacks blindside right now. They know being a heavyweight champion of the world could make that left tackle salary seem crazy, or that especially a defensive tackle, defensive end. I mean, it's it's not a given, but hey, it's you got the framework there for sure.
Yeah. And then we also have Nathaniel Collins versus Lee McGregor. I don't know who those guys are, but fellas, educate me.
We're gonna be learning just like you watching this card.
And then once you get to the bottom of there, you got some 8-rounders in there. So
yeah,
but I mean, the zone put great prospects out there.
Yeah,
good prospects, and they give them an opportunity on these undercards. So
Yeah.
Hey, but shout out to Mike Belogan for making the transition to boxing and making an event against a prospect at will we know will be in electric Glasgow, Scotland on a Saturday night. So that's a big step, man.
Having to travel to do that's salute to you, Mike.
Living the dream.
All right, we won't cover the rest of these other people that will be featuring, from like the David Jansen to Ashton Brown and Reese Porter. I personally don't know them, but fellas, do you anticipate anything from those fellas?
Nah, man, they on there. We just giving them some love, rounding out the card. We just wanted to talk about Josh Taylor and Moses Itambo. Shout out to Boligan though. I don't, we didn't say anything about Ika Usman. Do we know? Let's see. We'll just give a quick check. Is this a comeback fight? Yes. Oh, we did say a little bit, huh?
Yeah, we
just
talked
a little bit,
like from Botswana, I believe, and
just a little bit. Any names? Chris Congo, Samuel Antwi. All right, keep it pushing.
All right, as we keep it pushing, let's take it to July 19th. Damn, you want to lead this one?
Yeah, buddy.
Favorite fighter is locking horns with the Filipino vice president of the world, Manny Pacquiao.
So this fight is not happening in San Antonio. It's happening in Las Vegas. But you got Mario Barrios and Manny Pacquiao. Now, these are not all the same card, by the way. These are two different cards. One is actually PBC. Shout out to PBC. Shout out to Mario Barrios for keeping PBC afloat. Hey. I mean, we were just talking about how Manny Pacquiao was still on the website and they needed to take him down. I stand corrected.
I mean, we talked about this a long time ago. We talked about Triple G still on the website, too.
I stand corrected.
We talked about Keith Thurman.
Looking for that right opponent. Looking for the right opponent.
These are the legacy. So they talk about how there is a legacy provision for legacy champions to come back and get a title shot. We don't want to get into predictions, but there's some interesting roundabout with this matchup here because I believe was the last time we seen Pacquiao was when he fought Dennis Ugas. Well,
no, he fought in Japan with that.
Yeah, but
he didn't look good.
But we're talking about, I think
his competitor was Ugas. Yes, I believe
Ugas, right? So, yes. And then I want to say Mario Barrios came back and beat Ugas.
Yeah, he fought Ugas, but I think they should be. How old is Pacquiao? Is he 45?
You remember?
46.
Yeah,
46. I think they should.
Cam, you remember that? You remember Barrios fighting Ugas?
Ugas had a weird. I don't really recall that. Hold on, let me see if I can really confirm that.
2023.
Yeah, he lost to Barrios in 23.
Yep.
2023.
Boy,
so
that was a headliner of who else fought on that card. That was he spit out his mouthpiece in this fight, Strap, and he was deducted a point.
Oh.
Bring the conversation full circle right there.
You gotta
okay, this was on the Canelo Charlo undercard, the sleeper undercard. Yeah, and this is the one Erickson Lubin lost. We just saw him come back on Pro Box.
Wasn't he like? What was it? Did he swell up his face?
That might have been. You talking about Lubin?
I'm talking about your Dennis Ugas.
He swells every fight.
Okay.
Yeah, he had some. I got you. On the way out.
Allergic to leather. All right.
Yeah, for real.
Strap, did you forget your question?
No, I was gonna ask, why is a 45-year-old fighting, and where they're gonna fight? Who's sanctioning this, and who's doing the medical to let Pacquiao fight? Because we saw him fight in Japan, and you could tell Pacquiao was gonna get a bag. Was just getting the bag because the dude looked like he wanted it more than Pacquiao. And I'm like, we watched it. I think we may have even talked about it. Pacquiao fighting in Japan, and and how horrible he looked. This was back in 2021, I believe. 20, right?
Maybe even more recent.
I think even more recent than that.
There's the time he fought in Japan and he looked bad. He didn't look good. And I'm like, dude, why are you doing this? You're gonna fight a Mario Barrios who's a killer, and everyone is letting you do it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because he's Pacquiao. Like
Pacquiao was never a defensive fighter to me. Pacquiao was always a never back foot fighter to me. Pacquiao was always a step forward fighter. Pacquiao was a fighter that gets touched a lot. He you know, like maybe I don't know. Maybe yes. If you look at Pacquiao's mannerisms, he's one of those guys who's gonna end up like the execution and get knocked out of the ring by a young dude.
Look, man.
Well, man,
Barrios might stop this man. Barrios probably stops his man. The style is perfect.
And Strap, sometimes I think you say outlandish things, but that right there, I can see it because we've seen him flat on the canvas. We never thought we'd see him flat on the canvas, face down.
With Marquez, he's been knocked down by. Because and you know what, the good thing, let me take it back. Pacquiao, who's in shape, is good at counter punching, and he did a good job with Keith Thurman. Though Keith Thurman also caught him, but he was good at counter punching. I don't know how fast your reflexes are at 46, like with a young lion.
We'll get
in their prime, you know, and
man,
dangerous lion that is.
We'll get a look at the pre-fight camps. We'll see the public workout, but a lot of people were pump faked by the Mike Tyson camp. So,
man, I am nervous, y'all. We talking about this fight makes me nervous. What I hope is Mario Barrios has a fire Aztec warrior fit leading up to the ring, because they're always really great. And then Manny Pacquiao makes it out whole.
I hope it does.
Like that's the one thing that I'm really like.
So
I'm scared. I'm scared of this fight. I really am. I saw him moving, hitting the bag, getting ready, and I'm like, this does not look right.
Well, okay. Well, if you're afraid of that one, it looks like the same card: Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora here.
Ooh, it's a PTSD card.
This is this it's a PTSD.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, if you sitting ringside, you got to be dressed like you had a crawfish boil, because
that was poncho or something.
Look, Barrios, he cuts and swells. Pacquiao cuts, and he's not really a sweller though, right? It's we've seen Fundora and we've seen Tszyu be cut. So yes, I need to be out of blood splatter range if I'm watching this fight.
Man. Plenty of guys on hand.
Do you think
they need? We know they found baby oil at the Combses, but hopefully there's some petroleum jelly there that they can fly out to Vegas.
Double Vaseline on the eyebrows and everything. Make sure.
Man,
rip through.
I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll get to see the Frito-Lay bean dip can.
Man, that is such a good catch, though.
That's like, hey, that's the new game. Hey, for us, that's gonna be like slug bug.
Yeah, you gotta let us know every time somebody got the Frito bean can dip. Using it for ice swelling.
Who was that the last time I seen?
It's gotta be the same cut, man. Same state. It's gotta be California.
They were fighting a Mexican fighter. Yeah, they were like, I remember that. Yeah.
Gotta be one of those states.
I gotta look for the blue. I gotta look for my take.
As you search for that,
May 4th. Who was fighting May 4th?
Do you think?
The monster. It was the monster's opponent. Yo, Frito-Lay bean dip can. That was in Las Vegas,
Nevada. So we might get an appearance.
Shout out to y'all that's watching live. Like, comment, subscribe, jump in the comment section, interact with us. We interact back.
Yes. So what do you guys think? Do you think Tim Tszyu has built up himself after that loss to fight this second time with Sebastian?
I don't know, man.
You don't know?
I mean, Sebastian Fandor is looking stronger each fight, and Tim Tszyu, who he fought right after the cut.
Yeah, was it Bonacek? Who was it? Was it yeah, that was a bad bounce back fight. Like he was
in that fight,
Murtaza
Bakram.
Big bad Bakram.
So in that fight, he gets hit or they clash early on, and he paused at his head because he's thinking about the cut. That was so alarming to see from a fighter, because they let everybody know that he's very aware of it. He's thinking about it in the ring about that. So, and then to end up ultimately with a second round, second round knockout? Yeah.
Well, here's my question: do y'all think he had a better chance against Fundora or Keith Thurman?
Look, take the Fundora fight. Take the Fundora fight because it's for a belt.
Okay.
And Sebastian Fundora isn't unbeatable. So I think he just wants a fair shake without any cuts or anything like that. Because going into that fight, a lot of people had Tim Tszyu winning that fight. I think even at least one of us had Tim Tszyu winning that fight. And that was prior to the cut.
Yeah. It was a split decision win by Fandora. It wasn't like a convincing win. I think Fandora he's a very, like we said, some fighters, sometimes they show up and sometimes they don't show up, right? Like Fandora, I'll put him in that category. Like there are times where he looks like, I'm like, dude is a cheat code fighting at the weight division he fights because of his lanky and range, right? Because how he got beat by Brian Mendoza was just complete. I was befuddled. I was confused because you're long. Why you mixing it up with a guy that size? Like why you doing all
and Tszyu beat Mendoza
and they'll catch you. They'll catch you. So it's one of, like you guys talked about it earlier. Like boxing is a funny sport. Like when somebody like him, he sometimes shows amazing ring IQ, and then sometimes I'm like, his ego is fight or something, or his style. That's his style. He fights Mexican style. Like you can't. I don't know. I don't know why he doesn't use his advantage. And when he does use his advantage, he's kind of unbeatable at that side. So I don't know.
Yeah, he showed flashes in his last fight. So, I talked about the bean dip can, and the last time we seen it was against the Monster Inoue, and Tim Tszyu has Takeshi Inoue on his record. Is that the brother of the Monster?
Yes, I do believe that's correct.
So there's another full circle moment.
Have a lot of that today.
Yeah. So like,
wait. Go ahead, brother.
Then I was saying like, so like Tim Tszyu still like, I think Tim Tszyu could get this one back because prior to the last few losses Tim Tszyu has had, he's lost to. I mean, Fandora's loss was debatable, but when you talk about Bakram, like that's a scary, scary name. And I don't know about Joseph Spencer too much, but that we talked about that was a tune-up in his hometown, and but Tim Tszyu is Tim Tszyu. So I think Tim Tszyu to me is the more scary fighter, more knockouts, more aggressive, I guess. And if Fandora does not fight with his advantage, he would he may mix up with the wrong person. Hopefully no elbows or headbutts or stuff that will lead to cuts and bleeding happens and it's a clean fight. And we see who the best person wins, But I think if we're doing our little chart betting thing, I'll go with Tim Tszyu winning this one. I don't know. Something tells me Tim Tszyu is the older fighter, is the more experienced fighter. We forget Fandora is about 25. I don't know how old he is.
We got a little time before we do that. I mean,
yeah. I want to see some training footage and some all that.
I mean, we haven't even talked about Usyk versus Dubois rematch. So I mean, I feel like we've talked about that enough. And then, shout out to
this
Kafu and Bam Rodriguez. So shout out to them too as well.
Yo, that is out here in Frisco at the Cowboys practice facility. So yeah, that's Eddie Hearn promoting that event. And you have Diego Pacheco fighting Trevor McCumbee also on that card. So yeah. So yeah, I'm last time I checked, tickets were not for sale yet. So hopefully I can attend this one July 19th out here in Dallas. Oh, that date sounds familiar. You live checking my calendar. I do got an event that morning, but hey. But yeah, I hopefully we can get some I can have some run-ins, man, and we can get my microphones ready so we can get some guys on the show.
Heck yeah.
All right, as we move, I mean, we'll talk about the Usyk, Daniel Dubois, and as these fights lead up, because I know we have a lot to talk about. It's unfair to just combine and compound all these into short, quick, touch and go, but some of these need the extra time as we lead on to July 19th. So as we have done a touch and go, we'll do another touch and go with what's been announced. Rematch.
Oh yeah.
This will be in August in Las Vegas. Do you fellas, before even we dive into what you think about this fight, what do you like that date?
It's not Juneteenth weekend. So I feel like that would have been great for the culture. That also would have been a rush back. But yeah, I like it's an appropriate recovery time, I think. Does not an extended layoff in between it, so just enough time to heal up and recamp and reload. But I'm not the expert. Cam would probably be the expert on that area.
I mean, I'm fine with the date. I would have liked it to be a little earlier, but I just want to see a motivated and focused Tank Davis. Because Lamont Roach clearly is going to come ready to fight. Well, I mean, I say that we just had a conversation about guys going up and down. I would like to see a motivated Tank and a motivated Roach go head to head, and we can really settle all the debates. And hopefully that means Tank is hanging around and he's not doing the retirement talking anymore. We can get some bigger fights made. If we get a good performance, man. We didn't really feel like we got that performance out of Tank last fight.
Yeah. And well, it will be over a year layoff for the gentleman that you've seen who hinted that he was going to be fighting in June, and I don't see that on his box rec right now. So
when was the first time they fought? Was this back in February?
Okay, I'm trying to remember who I'm talking about. This was
who are you talking about?
You seen him in Dallas. You seen this guy in Dallas, and he was.
Oh yeah, Mr. Frank Martin.
Yeah,
Mr. Frank Martin.
I'm checking his box rec right now, and there's no opponent and no date on there. So
yeah, in the boxing world, a lot of stuff happens behind the scenes where fights are 90% made, but 90% made doesn't count for anything. So.
Because whoever his opponent might be on a different card during the same month, and
we would love to see Frank Martin back in the ring. Hopefully, get him on the show one day. But yes, it'll be a year in next month. So I don't know. That's puzzling for me.
I look at this date, and I think to myself, these guys, Tank didn't have a loss. Roach didn't have a loss. Why are you taking all that time apart? What recovery are you guys doing? Like, you need to fix that no decision that you guys both had, which was a draw. Like, have it quicker so we can move on and make bigger fights. If you're doing it in August, if you're doing it in August, yes, there's so many other fights that we want to see. I would want to see a Roach versus Keon. I would want to see some other fights. Let's get over.
That would be crazy.
Just get over with this so we can see the Keon shine. We can see. I don't know what Tank is thinking. Maybe he's gonna be done. You never know with Tank, but you're holding us all hostage, and I know none of these hold belts. Does anyone hold a belt? Does Tank hold a belt? I think he may.
Yeah, he got the WBO.
Okay, so let me see what belt.
Yeah, he got a chokehold on that belt. And he said one is enough.
So man, they're holding us hostage. Like Kam Gee said, like, come on, no one was viciously knocked out where, the champ was not viciously knocked out where you need to have that Rocky, in the snow, workout or whatever you're doing. Like, you both had a draw, and you need to come back and fix that. Fix that. I mean, it was a great fight, but again, it was an underwhelming decision because truly, I know Tank is going to train like he lost that fight. But it was an underwhelming decision, to be honest. But again, after watching the fight, and then boxing experts came and said it was actually really a draw. If you really looked at the nuance of it, but of the day, that I thought Tank lost. But anyways, that's neither here or there. I just think August is they fought in March. They're fighting again in August, a rematch that had a draw. There could have been more. There could have been more other fights.
You want to see the urgency making these fights happen.
Yeah, but hey,
I'm with that.
Just had a problem with that date. But anyways, I want to watch it. I'm not going to pretend I want to watch that fight. I'm excited. Let's see if lightning can be caught in a bottle twice.
Well, I mean, 19th, that's the weekend. So when you see all that competition on that weekend, I mean, I get it. They don't want to. All he's competing against there is what, the NFL preseason.
Yeah, that's like the kickoff, right?
So
week 1 preseason.
So yeah, I mean,
maybe college football starting that day. Maybe a couple weeks from there.
Mm-hmm. So hey, on that little part of the calendar right there, I get it.
Well, salute to Tank and Roach too. We'll watch that one, even if I'll definitely watch.
I think that's a good place to land the plane right there.
All right,
we can put these in the stash.
But we've hit our hour plus mark. We met the objective for the show, which is hit you with a recap and also talk about what's ahead in the future with these fights that are coming up. A lot to be excited about. Wish they could come up a little faster than what's scheduled. But if there are no fights, there's no, we still will have a show regardless, but we'll find topics to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been another episode of Who's Fighting. Fellas, who is fighting?
Who's fighting?